Hey guys, I want to welcome you and let you know how great it is to have you here for the Greater Purpose Podcast.
What's up? Welcome to the Greater Purpose Podcast from the Cubs room. You hear that roaring crowd in the background? He doesn't hear that, so you hear it because it's canned. We put it in there for the fun stuff. That's one of the shtick things, the gimmicky things that my executive producer, who is my awesome wife, Donna, she doesn't necessarily like those gimmicky things, but I think they're kind of cool. So we're glad you're here for the Greater Purpose Podcast, the 101st. Am I saying that right? 101, 101st episode? Absolutely. That's crazy. That's amazing. It's awesome. Thank everybody again for your support for the fundraiser. Thank you for supporting by subscribing, sharing, liking, all that good stuff. That's the only reason we're here. We wouldn't be doing this. Well, we might be doing this just for the fun of it, but, we want to do it because we want to make a difference through Christ. So there are some things I do want to cover real quick. We are on other platforms. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple also. So if you want to listen to the podcast rather than watch and listen, you can do that. However, personally, I think the effect of, some of the stuff that we do in here, I think you should watch. Absolutely. Rather than just listen. So, also want to mention one. We have a couple of sponsors, but the main sponsor, A+ Lawn Care and Landscaping in Gastonia, been around since 1994. They do all kinds of stuff: landscaping, tree care, lawn maintenance, land clearing, commercial pole light service, stump removal, accent and outdoor lighting, parking lot striping, irrigation system. I'm tired just thinking about it. But they also have a garden center, and they also have now during deer season they have trophy feed, deer lures, and they have case knives.
Why don't they do it?
I'm serious. So that's Scott Sheehan. He has. They're on 1812. I said it wrong in the last podcast, but I put the correct address up there. 1812 East Ozark in Gastonia, or you can call them at 704-853-1107. So there's for your. It's time. It's springtime. You got to start doing that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, we have the Greater Purpose of a Godly Man Men's Conference coming up April 26th from 1 to 4. Some great speakers coming to speak. I don't have the list in front of me. I told you I'm a list man, and I didn't make my list. Mm-hmm. But we do have some great speakers coming to speak, and in the morning, a car show that day. Mm-hmm. So we asked Pastor Adrian if he thought it'd be kind of cool to do a car show, and he said, yeah, let's do it. So like I told you, he's been supportive. So the first TGP car show, mm-hmm. and the 5th Greater Purpose of a Godly Man Men's Conference. So all kinds of amazing things God's doing through men's ministry. So let's jump right in here. Jordan Floyd, so glad to have you here. Superman. So I think I knew you when you had dreadlocks, right?
Dreadlocks.
And then
all the way down
I know, right? And you cut them, mm-hmm. and I was like, dude, you're Superman with those. Why'd you do that? No, I think I did tell you though. I was like, why did you do that? You walked through the fellowship hall. I was like, what? Anyway, so now when I look, I see this clean-cut young man. I'm like, but I like the dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. But anyway, but now here you are without the dreadlocks. Glad to see you.
Sir.
Tell everybody who Jordan Floyd is real quick.
I'm Jordan Floyd.
There you go. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm currently enrolled at Gaston College.
Yeah.
I have a small business. Most importantly, I'm a follower of God.
Amen.
There's nothing that's more important in my life.
Yeah.
And I try to show that in everything that I do. Yeah. Each and every day. I try to learn each and every day. Yeah. And I'm just grateful for this journey. So
that's why you're here. So because we see that in you, and we've seen that in the men that come through here, and boys. We actually had Anthony Wright, 5-year-old Anthony Wright. He's our youngest guest, I think. So, but and we've had everything in between. Noah Huffman was in here. So we've had different age guys, a couple teenagers, Blake Schuler and some of the others. So we see that in you, and so that's why we've asked you to come in and kind of share some stuff. Your business, what is your business?
We do car detailing.
Aha. Oh, car detailing. Awesome. Great. You know what's happening after the podcast? Well, you can't do that in the suit, though. Yeah, that would be a no. That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's great. Good deal. What's the name of it?
Good Detail.
Good.
Yes, sir. The name is it's biblically based. And that's actually what we're gonna
nice. Well, and cleanliness is next to godliness, they say, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I had my previous vehicle, which was a 2010 Hyundai Sonata, which died on me at 366,000 miles. Was not very detailed. So I now have a Subaru, a 2024 Subaru, which is much more detailed. I get it washed like twice a week sometimes. So, so now I can appreciate the detail part. But, it's good to you got to get the down inside the crevices and all that stuff. So see, I don't have the patience to do all that. So I admire that. That's pretty cool. When did you start doing that?
We've been doing it for about 2 years now.
Okay, cool. So you say you have some guys that help? Or?
Yes, sir. Me and Philip Williams.
Okay, I don't know if I know Philip.
He's Jason Williams' son.
No, I know. Yeah, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Very, very close friend of mine.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah does it as well.
Gotcha. Jason's been on here. He's been on the podcast, so that's pretty cool. Good, neat stuff. Well, we'll try to remember to put a link up there for your you got a web page, you got all that stuff.
We're actually working on that right now. We don't have it yet.
Okay, good detail though. Remember, good detail. Can we find you on Facebook or
Facebook? Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the phone number? What would they call if they want to get detailed right now?
704-678-2960.
All right, cool. There you go. Write that down. Just back it up and then we can do that. That's cool. So, Gaston College, what's going on there? What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in business.
Okay, gotcha.
Right now.
That's why the
title.
Cool. Well, and I know you're going to tell us about some of your inspirations in a minute, so we'll talk about those. I'm sure that has something to do with why you're majoring in the business. So, did you have is this how we go to business college?
This is how we go to business college.
Right? That's cool.
I think it's all about representation.
That is cool.
It's all about deciding who you want to be.
That's
and
great.
How you dress.
Yeah,
exemplifies that a lot. So.
Absolutely, and your generation needs to see that and hear that. Not slamming anybody out there, just saying, because sometimes I don't shave and I don't do the hair and I do the kind of stuff. We have a men's breakfast that we do once a month, and I wear the ball cap and don't shave and do. Sometimes you just want to fill out a little bit, but you're absolutely right. We need to represent the kingdom by representing ourselves in a certain way. So that's kind of cool, pretty neat. Okay, that's great. I don't think I could sit in school like that though. I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. I definitely get second looks here and there. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. That's good. They probably think you're like a young professor or something, right? Yeah. Right. Excuse me, professor. Can you tell me how to get there? Right? Yeah. So I love it. That's cool. All right. So when did you first recognize? Was it like overnight? You woke up one day. You were at youth camp. You were 7 years old. I don't know. There's all kinds of stories of guys that come through here. Sometimes it's a progression. When did you recognize how important it was to become and start becoming a godly man?
Got to be my first year at Victory Christian. Absolutely. So,
which was what year were you there first?
It was my second 6th grade year. So I may have been 13 years old.
Okay, gotcha.
Up until that point, I had never really experienced the things of God. I was never really introduced to it.
Wow.
That was right around the time that my dad left. So times were really, really difficult for me at that time.
Sure.
And, when I came to Victory, I just felt so at home so quickly. Yeah. People welcomed me like family.
Yeah. It is how it is there. Absolutely. Victory Christian Academy, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, when that happened, I was just around the influence of God all the time. Yeah. People who were influencing me in the good ways. And I was blessed to be able to recognize that at such a young age.
13 and you're now?
18.
You're 18. Okay, 18. So that's cool. Yeah. So wow, that might have been. I guess that was right around the time I started. Yeah, because I was subbing. I was doing the preschool in 2019, I think, and then started subbing in 2020, and then did aftercare and all that kind of stuff. So right about the same time. So that's pretty good. I mean, I knew the school and the people because we've been going to South since 2018. So, but So, man, somebody in there has to have been your biggest. If you had to pick one person, now we'll talk about other people later if you want to. But if you had to pick one person, I know it's hard. I get it. Who would have been the biggest inspiration in understanding, I mean, maybe bigger inspirations now that inspired you to go to college, inspired your business, that kind of thing, but that inspired you to become that, hey, I need to be a godly man. Who would that person be if there was one? Yeah.
One of the first people that comes to mind for sure is Brooke Franklin. Cool. Pastor Adrian's wife.
Yep.
She was one of, if not the first woman in my life where I really felt a real motherly love.
Wow.
And it was.
You want to cry?
Yeah, it was unlike anything that I've ever.
I'm a cry. I don't know if you noticed me in the choir enough all the time, but yeah. So.
It was unlike anything that I had ever experienced. And in hindsight, it was exactly what I needed.
Wow.
And she inspired me in so many ways. And
at that time, so yeah, was that your first year? Was she your?
That was my first year.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. That's pretty cool. See, shout out for Brooke.
Yeah.
See, we've had shout outs for. I've asked Stephen to go back and do with AI, you can do anything now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go back through all the podcasts and find the names that have been mentioned, because Jason Williams has been mentioned.
Absolutely.
Pastor Adrian, Pastor Gilly, all kinds of men. Billy Graham's been mentioned on just about every podcast, I think, especially for older guys like me.
Yeah.
But it would be neat, because then I'd like to see some of the women that have been repeatedly mentioned as well. So that's pretty cool. So after that, and over the last 5 years, as you transition, how do you feel like right now, through your business, at school, however, how do you think you're most effective at building into other younger men's lives? But even in some cases, like I tell these guys coming through here, there's some guys that are 19, 20, 25 years old that have inspired me on stuff. So how do you feel like you're most effective in doing that?
Having conversations. As simple as it sounds, just having conversations, talking with people through things, kind of sharing my viewpoints, hearing what they have to say about it.
Right.
Not being, critical or ridiculing them, just kind of understanding where they're coming from, just kind of bouncing ideas off one another. I think in that way I've learned more, or I've probably learned most. I think I've shared anything that God has taught me, in that way.
Yeah, because you have a pretty good transformational story. So
absolutely.
You able to share that at school some, or I don't know how it is at a community college versus a university. You got to be careful what you say, and they might throw you out of class.
We really don't do much talking in community college. Honestly, you really just go to class.
Do class and move on.
Yeah, go to class and move on. Really
so nobody comes up and says, "Hey, what's up with the suit?" No,
people stare sometimes, but
I love it.
About it. So.
Because that would be like a great intro to start talking about Christ. So that's what you're waiting for. That's cool. I like that. That's neat. So, are you able to go back to VCA and build back into some of the guys that are there and stuff? Because I think I've seen you there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, from where I stand, I've never felt anything but welcome. So.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So I see a future there, a possibility. So, all right. So we talked about some. Or I sent you some topics and things that we could discuss, like about your favorite. Talk about some other people who've inspired you, men or women. Talk about some heroes of the faith. They could be living currently. They could be recent past history, or they could be biblical heroes, or even some of your favorites of books of the Bibles, or particular scriptures or anything like that. So this is your opportunity right here. This is your time from the podium. So who else would you have said was inspirational in your transformation? And I think I probably know some of the names you're going to say, but you might surprise me with some. So
so I have 3 primary mentors in my life that I am so incredibly blessed to have. Then I have a father figure as well. The father figure so happens to be Jason Williams.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that. Yeah,
he's family.
Yeah. Good man. He's a good man.
Absolutely. The mentors would be a man by the name of Brian Riddle.
Oh, okay. Don't know Brian.
He's family to me. Paul McMahon.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool.
And another man named Rick Franklin. Yeah, those are going to be guys who inspired me the most, who have taught me the most. I'm so grateful for everything that they have given me.
Yeah,
and could not express it enough.
Yeah, well, the importance of, and you'll understand that and you may even be doing it now. There might be some younger guys that you're going to take under your wing, or you're already taking under your wing, because it's important. And
I try my best to, honestly. In all honesty, I've almost kind of struggled to I'm not sure. I mean, I've never been in this position before in terms of trying to pour into other people. It's always been, receiving, and I'm grateful to have been there. But I'm ready to start kind of giving it back.
There you go.
But I'm not exactly sure how to go about it.
Yeah. Well, some guys take a long time to figure it out. So you're starting early, so that's okay. That's good, and God will give it to you. It's not like something. I mean, in my opinion, of course, this is about you now. I'm talking, but it's in my opinion, it's not like something you sit down and strategize and plan out and all that kind of stuff. It's sort of like God just brings it to you, and then all of a sudden you're doing it, and like you'll get text messages from somebody, and it's like, why are they asking me this? Well, they're asking you because you're a godly man, and they want to know what a godly man thinks about this. And those are the opportunities. Sometimes you'll just do it and move on and not even think about it till you look back and go, wow, that was God giving me that opportunity. So, So, but he will, especially as you're continuing and all this, just be ready. Because if you're praying for it, it'll happen. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. So how about some women besides Brooke? Anybody else that you've had?
I've had some other mother figures. One of them being Shannon Williams.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Also a lady by the name of Christina.
See, I know a male Shannon Williams.
Male Shannon Williams.
Yeah, right there. Gotcha. There's the male Shannon Williams. But anyway, he wrote this book, and Revelation Unlocked. He's been in here. Great guy. But yeah, so that's Jason's wife you're talking about. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. And who else?
Lady by the name of Christina Barnett.
Okay. Barnett. Don't know. I know some Barnetts, but I don't know.
I know her son. I met her son.
Gotcha.
Through basketball a while ago.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
But she's family, and just like the men in my life, they poured into me so much, and I cannot express how grateful I am.
That's cool.
As well, so.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's important, and people don't realize the impact they can make. But there you are. You're telling the world right now. That's pretty neat. So, what about heroes of the faith? What about heroes of biblical heroes, or maybe somebody in the news or somebody like that that's kind of inspired you to continue to walk your walk. Walk his walk. Yeah. Anybody can tell you walk your walk. Anybody you can think of offhand or?
In terms of well-known people, not really, to be honest. I think that I really look to the people that are close to me in life.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, as I keep saying, they just pour into me so much.
Right.
And I think that's where I pull from the most.
That's good.
I don't really look to celebrities much.
I was gonna say there's. I mean, you could have pulled Tim Tebow out or something like that. But anyway, so all right. How about any scriptures you want to share? You got any favorites? You got any specific books you like to study more than the other, or is it? I mean, I know the whole book. I get it. We know that. But if you had to hone in on anything, what would it be?
Well, since I've been younger, I always kind of try to focus on wisdom. So I find myself being in Job a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably where I'd be more than anywhere else. So
yeah, well, that's what Solomon asked for. He asked for. He could have asked for anything. God said you can have anything, and he asked for wisdom. Absolutely. So he didn't ask for discernment. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for power. He asked for wisdom, and with wisdom,
all that came
everything else. So it's sort of like the book of Revelation. You're going to be God. It promises a blessing by reading and studying and beginning to understand the book of Revelation. By asking for wisdom, he gives a whole lot more too. Amazing blessing. So, all right, cool. So anything else? Any other scriptures specifically or anything like that?
Nothing else that comes to mind.
Gotcha. See, now I thought you'd be like the kind of person that would just
snap you.
I'm not. Yeah, I can't either. So I have to have it. Which, by the way, I turned it around. So this is our scripture. This is our adopted scripture. Now it looks backwards on there, but it's not. So, and even with it sitting in front of me like this, I still have to turn it around. Romans 8:28. I know that much, and I know I can summarize it, but word for word. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. So that's what we're about here with the greater purpose. But yeah. So all right, cool. Anything else? Anybody else you want to mention? Anything else you want to mention? Inspirationally. That kind of stuff. Favorite Bible studies? I don't know. Youth camps? I don't know. Nothing that stands out.
Youth camps.
Did you ever go to the youth camp?
I did go to the youth camps while I was young.
No, nothing to remember. That's bad. That's bad.
This does sound bad.
Don't tell Sister Kim or anybody that nothing impacted me at summer camp. So yeah, because some people, especially Church of God, like back when my wife was there, I hear there's all kinds of stories about all kinds of crazy, amazing things. So, but and I'm sure it's a great time. But nothing. Okay, that's good. I like that. Anything else you want to share as far as any of that stuff? So your future business, besides owning your own business, so is that we want to be a business mogul, like buy and sell businesses or own 100 businesses? Or, I mean, what's your strategy?
I don't necessarily have it all figured out yet. I have a basic plan in mind.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it's kind of idealistic. I've never done this before, but I'm just trying and learning as I go.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and that's the only way that it happens anyway. You just you try it, and God works out the rest of it. So, putting it all in His hands is the important thing, and you've done that.
Absolutely.
So, because I learned the hard way that if you try to control yourself, it doesn't work out so well. So, yeah. All right. So, we are going to ask you about your favorite sports story, but before that, I don't know if you know this or not, but you get some parting gifts. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
See there?
I was not aware.
Yeah. Now. So the first parting gift you receive is this wonderful bottle of hand sanitizer. But this is because it's a shameless plug for my business. See, it's not in focus. There we go. Mr. Bill's STEM Education, which you're familiar with, right? And then Bill Ward Photography. You're also familiar with that. I've taken your pictures plenty of times, right? So anyway, that's the shameless plug for my business. So, by the way, we talked about this on the 100th episode. We're down to our last 2 bottles, so that means the 103rd, 102nd, 103rd guest is going to get the last 2. But actually, not, because Paul Brentley's supposed to come back in for a follow-up visit to talk about Faith and Freedom, but the Faith and Freedom Coalition. But so he won't get another bottle. But you all will, and you will get the second one. So this was the old one. Okay. You don't get the old one. Because we're running out of. There's only three of those left, so we're done with those. But the brand spanking new 2025 Mr. Bill Willy Ace official TGP baseball card. I will autograph that, and I will number it 101. And according to Stephen Wright, who's the smartest producer in the whole wide world, it'll be worth. Why are you laughing when I say that? It'll be worth exactly what it's worth when you walk out of here. You like that? And the most exciting part of all, you receive a Lego superhero. And you're thinking, why a Lego superhero, right?
Why not?
Oh, wow. I like that. Why not? I like that. Well, that's not exactly why, but that's good. I like that. The reason is because STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. The E stands for engineering. Now, your superhero, you have to build him. Mine's already built. But you have to build your superhero. So that's the engineering part, okay? Gotcha. But also, because we believe that in God's eyes, the men who come through here on the Greater Purpose Podcast are superheroes. So there you go, see? But you get to choose, and I'll tell you who we've got here. We've got Hawkeye. We've got Ant-Man. We've got, I can't see it. Oh, Robin. I don't know how Robin got. He's not Marvel. This guy's name is Dum Dum. I know that sounds bad, but... That was his character's name. He's Captain America's sidekick, but he was in the first movie. But Hulk, Flash, who's this? War Machine, Doctor Strange. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's from Star Wars. That's some women. Oh, and so there are some women in here because my executive producer, my wife, said, well, leave the women in there because just like for you, your superhero was a woman, so you could pick a woman. There's another Ant-Man, 2 Ant-Man in here. Oh, this guy here, Rocky, the little raccoon on Guardians of the Galaxy. Who's this? Doctor Who. I don't even. That's the Gauntlet. Oh wow, that's kind of cool. I didn't even know that was in there. That's the Gauntlet from Avengers. There's Captain Marvel. There's Gamora, not Sodom and Gomorrah, but Gamora from Marvel, yeah. So, yeah. There's the Riddler. I don't know why the Riddler's in here. Riddler was not a good person, but he's in here. We need to take him out. We're throwing the Riddler out. Let's see. This is Star-Lord. Anyway.
Probably do Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. There he is, Doctor Strange. Perfect.
Thank you.
There you are. And now you get to tell us your favorite sports story. And I know
sports story.
So you played basketball all of high school. You played. Were there other sports that you played too when you were?
I played volleyball for 1 year.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and then when you were a kid, you probably played
everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure you got like 1,000.
Everything but baseball. Baseball is the only sport I did.
Oh man, you cannot say that. The roof is going to fall in. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, we're in the Cubs room. He says not baseball, but it's okay. It's okay. Mm-hmm. So do you have one sports story that stands out?
I do. Ironically enough, it's actually a story about me.
It's okay. That's good. That's good. That's okay. We can relate to what happened to us. Yeah, no, that's good.
I was talking to a very good friend. I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and they reminded me of the story. They were on the basketball team at the time. Mm-hmm. We were playing in the conference semifinal, so it was a game before the championship.
Okay.
And it was a really, really good game. It ended up coming down, to the wire. But sometime towards the third or early the fourth quarter, I began to cramp. I started getting cramps in my body. And that's kind of relevant because I was like the leader of the team, right? The team, like, they look to me and they trust me. I need to be there to play and lead.
Yeah.
And so,
what do you do when you're hurting? Yeah.
And, so I'm cramping. I can hardly run. Can't really jump, but I'm still playing.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I'm playing through it. And from what I remember, it really didn't hurt that much. But what I do remember is I began to pray. Right. And so coach began to kind of take timeouts periodically to kind of give me some rest and get the team some rest so that we could try to stay focused, and hopefully come out with the win.
Yeah.
And, and so I'm praying. And up until that point, I had been saved for probably 3 years, but I had never really experienced the presence of God.
Wow.
And in this game, the cramps came. I began to pray, and as time passed, before I knew it, tears began to fall. And I remember everyone kind of talking about it afterwards, and everyone assumed it was because I was in pain. I wasn't in much pain at all.
Wow.
That was the first time in my life that I felt overwhelmed by the power of God.
Ooh.
And I distinctly remember, as I said, it was the fourth quarter, game was going on, and it's very, very tight. I remember distinctly there was a play. They ended up turning the ball over. So we're about to take it out. And I'm in the game. I'm playing.
Yeah.
And so like we're taking it out, and I'm like I'm out of bounds, but I'm literally like praising, like with my hands up in the air. And I had almost like, I rarely ever think about this, but we were watching the game the other night, and I saw it, and it kind of brings all this back to remembrance. So I'm on the sideline literally like praising, and I'm just
you're like in the spirit, right? That's cool.
Literally in the spirit. First time I've ever experienced the presence of God.
I love it.
And it was one of, if not the most incredible experience of my life.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I love that game. That's probably my favorite game of all time. It taught me so much.
Yeah.
In that moment, and it enabled me to experience something that I had never experienced before.
Well, and that speaks to, we don't usually, once we tell the sports story, we usually wrap it up, but that's very inspirational because it speaks to the fact that we need to pray for all things, pray about everything. God tells us to pray about everything, even the things that we may not think are, I don't know that I would have thought about praying about, my leg cramping up or whatever, but I should, and you did, and he answered. So that's pretty cool. That's very neat. So pray for everything. Doesn't mean he's going to answer.
Absolutely. Ironically, no, we ended up losing the game.
You lost the game, but you felt good.
I was like, after that game, I felt such a clarity.
Oh, that's cool.
So at peace.
That's great. So that was so that's what it was for. It was to bring you closer to him.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to let you win this thing, but I want you to know I'm here.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. That's neat stuff. So all right. Well, that's cool. All right. Well, listen, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that kind of good stuff. That's the only reason that we're here. That's why we do this. Jordan, thank you for being here for the Greater Purpose Podcast.
I'm on it.
Looking forward to some amazing things God's going to do in your life. So, God bless you. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Come back again for the next Greater Purpose Podcast. God bless.